Scott, the crumblings of Embracer continue. Embracer Group sells Borderlands developer Gearbox to Take-Two Interactive for $460 million. Wow. Samuel
There's a lot of money changing hands right now.
Oh man, is there ever? Samuel Tolbert over at Windows Central. Embracer Group is continuing to melt down, selling off another large chunk of the company. Borderlands developer Gearbox Software is being sold to Take-Two Interactive for $460 million per a press release. Gearbox, which was originally purchased by Embracer Group for $1.3 billion back in 2021, will retain most of the development studios and the rights to Borderlands, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Homeworld, Risk of Rain, Duke Nukem, and Brothers in Arms. Dude, there's a call out. I haven't seen a Brothers in Arms game in forever. I wonder if that'll ever come back. I don't know.
Duke Nukem as well. I think the world needs Duke now.
I think they just need to get nuked. Embracer Group is retaining the Gearbox San Francisco publishing department, which, from what I'm understanding, will be renamed moving forward once the deal closes, including the publishing rights to the Remnant franchise. Embracer Group will also be keeping Support Studios' Lost Boys Interactive, which had a significant number of cuts a few weeks ago. Quote, as a significant long-term Embracer Group shareholder, I believe that the strategy for Embracer Group going forward and am completely convinced that this transaction is the best possible scenario and an obvious net positive arrangement for Embracer Group, for Take-Two, and, of course, Gearbox Entertainment, end quote, says Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford. What else is Randy going to say? Hey, we're free. Like, he should have just said that. Quote, my primary interest is always Gearbox, including our talent and our customers. I want to personally ensure fans of our games that this arrangement will ensure that the experiences we have in development at Gearbox will be the best it can possibly be. And quote, it continues on, Scott. Embracer Group's fire sale continues following a failed $2 billion investment deal with Saudi-owned Savvy Games Group. Embracer Group has been in full meltdown mode, closing studios like Volition, unbelievable, canceling games like Deus Ex, what is wrong with you, and laying off staff across a number of other teams. My God. The company recently sold off Saber Interactive for $450 million. Well, thank God for Saber, the morons over at Embracer. A deal that sees Saber continue working on the likes of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, which is nice. Scott, big title looking for you to come out soon.
I'm really looking forward to that one, yes.
That's right. And Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. Wow, can't believe that thing's still going. Analysts, probably the best case scenario. Here we go. With Embracer Group embracing a death spiral approach to company management.
I was trying to think of a way to say that cleverly, too.
Wow, well done. Gearbox going almost anywhere else makes sense. Take-Two Interactive makes an extra layer of sense, as its Take-Two Games subsidiary retains the publishing rights to the Borderlands, the crown jewel of Gearbox franchises. It's also good to see that Gearbox is keeping most of the other IP, especially Risk of Rain and Homeworld 3. With Saber Interactive and Gearbox gone, Embracer has received a cash injection at the cost of some of the most valuable studios and IPs. What a freaking disaster, Scott. What a company. Embracer is just, it's a garbage truck on fire. It is, here's the divest and what they retain still. So this one comes from Steven DiTillo. So right now the divestment from Embracer with Gearbox. So Gearbox, now the assets include Gearbox Software, Gearbox Montreal, Gearbox Studio Quebec, Borderlands, Tiny Tina's Wonderland franchise, Homeworld, Risk of Rain, Brothers in Arms, and Duke Nukem. Here's what Embracer gets to keep. Gearbox Publishing San Francisco, to be renamed prior to the closing, formerly named Perfect World Entertainment, which is unfortunate. Including the publishing rights to Remnant franchise, the upcoming Hyper Light Breaker, I feel so bad for them, and the other notable unannounced game releases. Cryptic Studios, including MMO titles Neverwinter Online and Star Trek Online, Lost Boys Interactive, and Captured Dimensions. Scott, they have some still going. Hyper Light Breaker looks incredible. I just feel so bad that this studio is still under Embracer Group for that.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of these investments stayed behind, and I'm not sure if I'm wondering if that's what Embracer is. There really a central intelligence there at all? Is this what the goal overall was, to try and buy up some of these, and maybe not just with Gearbox. Maybe this is happening with other companies, but buy up all these properties and then sell them, accepting a bit of a loss, but you're absorbing all of these different IPs. And it seems like just for the express purpose of locking them in a vault or something so far. So I'm not quite sure I understand what Embracer's goal is to do. I don't. It's been contested now, the amount of money that's changed hands and the losses when it comes to respect with Embracer. I don't believe they've lost $1 billion out of this quite. It seems to be there's a few moving parts, but
Yeah.
this is when it comes to determining if this is good for the video game industry at large, I think yes. Anytime we can get Embracer's name stripped from something else, I think that's a win.
Absolutely. The changing of money involves not only cash money, but stocks. So like there's a bit of a, it's not just a $1.3 billion in cash. It's not, that's not how it works. It was part cash, and then the other part of the $1 billion comes from the stocks and the shareholder side of it, right? So it's a, man,
Embracer stocks.
it's yeah. Well, do they have any?
Does anybody
stocks
want
left?
those?
No, nobody wants those. Like it's yeah, man. I can't. Embracer just needs to fold up. Like they just need to bail out. Somebody needs to come in and buy up the rest of the companies there and just let them go free. Or everybody just needs to bail out, dude. Just like Toys for Bob did with Activision Blizzard. Different scenario over there, obviously, because Activision Blizzard doing just fine. But Toys for Bob said, hey, we want to become independent. I think that was the other side of it. If you have the funds to be able to go, hey, we need out of Embracer so we can take care of our own team. If you can do that, do that. Like, please do that. Embracer is just going to sell you off or sink you one way or the other. So if they close, dude, they closed Volition closed. A 30-year studio closed because why? Because they went to Embracer. This sucks. Like, that just sucks.
No.
And yeah, it is just an absolute disaster. So I saw this morning and I went, good. Because like Gearbox is a legend. Dude, they're a staple in our industry. They're very important to our industry. It's important that they keep the lights on. How do they do that? You go to Take-Two, one of the biggest publishers in the industry, besides Activision Blizzard and Microsoft now at this point, right? Or PlayStation on that side. So now, when you think about who are the top dogs, think about who is there. You got PlayStation, you have Xbox, which is now under the umbrella which now has the umbrella under them of ZeniMax Studios, right, with Bethesda, and then Activision Blizzard and all those studios. Like, my goodness. And then from there, you have Nintendo, you have Ubisoft, you have EA, and there's Take-Two. There's a small game coming out next year we're hoping for called GTA 6. Dude, Take-Two's like the biggest one of the biggest publishers in the world. So
Absolutely. If they now we don't, I don't want to see the Embracer scenario just happen again. But if Take-Two buys up all these properties and frees them from Embracer, it's not over yet. Gearbox has won they've been liberated, but there's still many things under Embracer that I would like to see be free.
Oh man, Crystal Dynamics is a prime example, right? They're still there, unfortunately, and that one hurts. That one hurts a lot. No Deus Ex game really, as a massive fan, really stings.
These clowns at Embracer don't even know how to make money with the properties they have. I don't understand it, folding things like this.
No, dude, they had some of the best stuff going for them, and they just let it all die. I'm like, what are you doing? But
like Embracer at this point would have canceled GTA 6 at this point. Like those geniuses just don't know how to do it. I'm not a stock exchange guy. Who am I to say that they don't know how to do that? But they don't know how to make video games.
That's for sure. It's clearly written on the wall over there, right? Like, so get out what you can. Gearbox did, and good for them.